Hello and welcome to our LinkedIn live session, The Future of Wealth Management Technology. My name is Alois Birker, founder and CEO of Birker Partners, and today we will be discussing Advisors 360's 2024 Connected Wealth Report. With me here today is Jeff Schwanz, the CRO of Advisors 360. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you.
Before we jump in, a few words to the 2024 Connected Wealth Report. This year's report highlights many timely aspects: how outdated technology creates advisor productivity and client satisfaction challenges, the deficiencies and opportunities in current wealth management solutions, and the pressing need for technology advancements. The report further explores key areas such as advisor and client expectations, identifies technology gaps, and offers insights into the next generation of essential tools. Jeff, this is the second year Advisor 360 award-winning research was produced and is focused on advisor technology preferences. Two questions for you. First, can you explain why Advisor 360 does this research year after year? And then secondly, what were the most surprising findings for you?
Sure. Thanks, Alois. Yeah, it's always a good practice to start and share the why. You know, at Advisor 360, we serve enterprise wealth management firms, their affiliated advisors, and the households that they serve. As a company, we aim to positively impact the lives of those that we serve, as you can imagine. So it's super important for us to have a really deep understanding of the needs and the preferences and behaviors of advisors. And this kind of research really provides that firsthand perspective on what's working, what's not working, you know, for those enterprise wealth management firms and their affiliated advisors throughout the industry. And we also think, Alois, it's really, really important to give these groups a voice in all of this. So again, what's working, what's not working, and what's important to them. And lastly, we think it's really important to share these findings throughout our industry. It's why we do this kind of research. It's why we publish it, because we want to positively impact the lives of those advisors and obviously the households that they serve. So that's a quick reason of why. And your other question too of what surprised us, I think we would look at it. You think about all that is reported that is invested in technology and data for wealth management, the wealth management industry. It does not appear it's meeting the needs of advisors and the households they serve, and that's really kind of what's been surprising for us. We have a couple of theses coming out of this research, which you'll be able to read for those that go download the report. They're going to read a little bit more about what we've published when they go to advisor360.com. But also, we would love to engage with folks after. But that's kind of the high level. So let's hit on a couple of headlines, really, of what the research told us. So 92% of advisors would switch because of poor technology. Oh, and by the way, 44% of advisors reported that they have actually already switched over bad technology within their organization. 44%.
It's quite amazing.
So yeah, it's really amazing. So, I mean, Alice, I mean, one of the things that we always ask ourselves is compared to what? You know, you always need that perspective of like, well, hey, a number compared to what? Is it good, bad? You know, not quite. You don't understand. So when we did this research, and really this is the benefit of doing year over year research so you can understand the trends. Last year, 39% of advisors, only 39 said that they needed an upgrade. This year, advisors are saying 65% of us, we need an upgrade. So think about it, from 39 to 65. What a change in just a year. Again, go back to like what surprises us. And with all that is invested in fintech, advisors are just not happy for a couple of reasons. So the shift is clearly a warning sign, but it's also an opportunity. So also highlighted in this research said that 43% of advisors closed new business. So they were actually able to attract new clients because of a competitor's lackluster technology. So just to dig down a little bit more in this research, one of the things that we did different is we also analyzed the advisors that are moving between firms. So we're seeing advisors that are not happy. They are for various reasons, technology being cited one that we gathered in this research. But we put a lens of, you know, how many years of experience are these advisors that are making these types of changes? And the data suggests that for 2023, advisors moving between firms is expected to actually outpace all of 2022. So when we did this research report, the final numbers for 2023 were not done yet, but it's amazing. And what we did is we even removed all of the mergers and acquisitions that continue to happen within the wealth management space. And it's still a really big number. So the last thing that we did here is we put this other lens of what are the number of years of experience represented by those advisors that were changing specifically in 2023. So quick spoiler alert, it's a big number. And it was a big number in 2022. And yet in 2023, it's another really, really big number. So very seasoned advisors really making the moves.
That's awesome. That's great. I mean, I think, again, very timely. And it's amazing that, the technology is such a big driver, right? I think for people wanting to stay or wanting to move. And clearly, it is a big pressure point for them. But so technology was one aspect that was covered, right? On the other side, I think the finding was there's bad data, and it's a major obstacle for advisors as well. So that, the oil in the platform, if you want, right? The thing that makes the technology hum. It's like, what did you find there?
No, you're absolutely right. So the other really big finding is that 61% of financial advisors that bad data is really an obstacle that they face today. So data is kind of a fun word, Alice. A fun fact. Did you know that data is actually a plural of datum, which is a Latin noun meaning something given? And we know something given, data in this context is the cornerstone of trust and productivity and innovation. And it's arguably the single item that's shaping the wealth management landscape today. So it's not surprising, again, just to hear that advisors are finding it as an obstacle, because we know the true power of data, again, something that's been given, emerges when it's been carefully designed and displays and presented in a way to empower decision-making, really between the advisor and the client. So our research finds that, advisors often must manually collect and calculate and often collate sometimes days old data from different sources. And it's just not the best use of the resources within their practice. So we think this is really kind of the underpinning of like what's going on. It's not necessarily just the data itself, it's the form of it, its ability. So, because part of this too is think about what advisors have to do when they get all of this data. They rely on presentation tools to really to transform this complex data into insights that they can make it easily digestible for that households to say, well, should we do option 1 or option 2? Here's a couple of options to help those households really understand that. So that's some of our thesis coming out of this research.
That's great. I mean, and what do you think is behind the sentiment of bad data and why it's an obstacle? Do you have reasons? What makes it really that obstacle?
Yeah, we've got a couple of theses. So number one, we'd say the timeliness of data. And we live in an instantaneous world, Alice. We all know that. We can order a car and have it pick us up like nearly instantaneously. And advisors are dealing with data today that is, in some cases, 2 to 3 days old, if not more. And when it's not timely, it's less relevant. So let's go back to that, our earlier guiding principle. Data, something given, is the principal foundation for trust. So if data is delayed, it sometimes chips away at the cornerstone of trust. So we think that's one element. We think another element is the source of the data. Is the data a client provided? Is it provided by a financial institution? Is it advisor provided? Is it by the custodians? Like, it's all of these things. So it's not necessarily one single thing, but this is where incomplete data kind of comes into play. So number 3 would be usability. I kind of touched on it a moment ago. I can have really great data, but if it's secured away and difficult to use, or I need to manually collect it, calculate it, collate it, put it all together in a presentation, I may look at it like it may be good data, but it's really hard to use, therefore bad. So just a couple of things. And one of the things, the bad analogies that we use is so many organizations are investing in really great technology. They're wanting that sports car. Unfortunately, they're not able to get the most out of that sports car because right now they're driving it on a dirt road. They're only able to go so fast because it's some of the challenges around the data. So we think that's really what's underneath the sentiment from advisors.
That's great. No, absolutely. Time is of the essence when you use data, right? So I think if you need to put all this effort in to use it, of course, if you're late on it, it diminishes the value of it, right?
Right.
Before we maybe wrap up, maybe a couple of other things. In the research that you guys completed, you guessed the sentiment and top priorities for advisors around several things, and those included client onboarding, marketing, prospecting, financial plan development, client meeting preparation, client engagement, mobile solutions, and much more. Any final thoughts on perspectives that you would like to instill, and why should everybody download the report in the first place?
Perfect. Yeah. No, advisors have new opportunities to reach unprecedented levels of productivity across their practice with the use of technology that's fueled by data, right? And we talked about good and useful data. So as a result, the chance to grow organically and serve more households has never been higher. And the productivity that we think can be unlocked through technology fueled by this fast, reliable, timely, and accurate data is nearly unmatched. So really the questions that I'd like to leave us with here, and part of the research is, leaders within enterprise wealth management firms continue to have to make tough decisions when it comes to technology and data, right? It always comes down to, do I build, do I buy, do I bypass, or do I partner? These are the same tough decisions that have been around for years. And guess what? They haven't got any easier. So really our intent around providing this type is just to expose this type of research and sentiment and starting asking the questions, really. And this is what I want to end on. So the first question is, can enterprise wealth management firms really afford to take the bypass option and let their advisors walk away because of potentially divergent corporate priorities, what have you? Well, we can see advisors are voting with their feet. So that's the first question. So, is it inertia going to just take over? Or really, the other question is, are they willing to be bold and usher in firms really a forward look by choosing to either build, buy, or partner approach to really better serve their advisors in the household? So that's kind of my last thought, really to tee up the research and what we're doing and what it's suggesting.
That's awesome. That's great. Thanks, Jeff, for sharing all these thoughts with us and the audience. And again, this report is fantastic. I really enjoyed reading it. So thanks so much. I would also like to thank the audience for joining us here today, and would like to learn, if you'd like to learn more, please visit advice360.com, Connected Wealth Data Hub, for downloading the full 2024 Connected Wealth Report. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers.